Are you possibly talking a girl out of wanting to have a sexual experience with you? Hi there, men's dating coach HarryWilmington here, founder of IntrovertDatingSuccess.com. And on today's show, I'm going to be actually going over a conversation I had like 5 minutes ago with a friend of mine that's doing online dating. This guy hit her up, suggested that they hook up on their first meetup, and she agreed to it. But now she's thinking of changing her mind because of this guy talking too much. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon to be notified of when I put up daily videos. Also, be sure to go to the website to download my free ebook, Texting Like a Boss, as well as hitting on the tip jar tab to show your support, the link of which can be found at the website and in the description below. Let's go ahead and get into it. I had an idea for another show I wanted to do, which is going to be talking about how you as a guy can get more first date hookups. And what started this off was the girl that I'm going to be talking about in this video is a close friend of mine, and we recently got her onto an online dating site. And by the way, if you are a guy that is interested in getting help with your online dating, I have a free video training at the website that teaches you about the type of first messages to send to women that will get them interested in wanting to talk to you and converse further. It's a free video, about 45 minutes, so check that out at the website. But anyway, so I helped her set up her site, and so she sent me a text where she said a guy that she was talking to asked her if he could come over and have her sit on his face. And so that was going to lead me into doing a video about how to get first date hookups. And I was going to talk about how this guy's particular approach, on some women it can work, on others it won't. But, you know, and I'm actually going to do a video and a show for tomorrow's show about how to get first date hookups, talking more about this. But then she called me and went into further detail. So I'm going to tell you the story, and then I'm going to tell you where this guy is starting to go wrong, okay? Because a lot of guys do this stuff, is they end up talking themselves out of a good situation. So basically, my friend, she's been single for a while, and she's been complaining about being single and wanted to go on dates. So I said, you know what? I've been on some dating apps. I've been having great success. Let me help you set something up, because people need to know that you're out there in order to date you. So we get her on the apps. This was like on Monday. And I said, okay, we'll follow your results. So she just texted me now saying, man, like, online dating is wild, and this guy wants me to sit on his face, and oh my God, this is net. So she calls me up and she gives me more details about what was happening. So the gist of what happened was this, is that they're talking on the app. He had suggested possibly doing a date of some kind next week. And she said, okay, sure, we can do whatever. And then he mentioned like an actual going out to a place date. But then they were talking and he was saying like, yeah, you know, a lot of girls, if I'm not that serious about them, I'll ask them to I'll ask if they want to sit on my face. It'll be just like a hookup situation. So they're talking and talking. At some point, my friend's like, you know, after he suggested the date, she was like, so I guess if we're planning an actual date, I guess this means I'm not just a hookup because you didn't ask me to sit on your face. Ha ha ha. And she said it kind of jokingly, but also like, those are one of those things where if the girl starts bringing up those kind of innuendos early on, or when you bring it up, she's not being disgusted, that's already a pretty good sign that you could possibly try to do some stuff. So at this point, the guy's like, oh, so you're saying like if I asked you for you to sit on my face, you would be cool with that? And she said she took a few hours to respond, but that her ultimate answer was, sure, I'd be honored to sit on your face. So they have a date. So they have a date scheduled for next Wednesday currently. And so she's thinking, okay, so next Wednesday, like, we have this date plan, but it's pretty much like I've already agreed to, like, because he was basically saying, like, you know, people go through this bull crap of like, oh, we got a date, we got to get to know each other. But usually within the first 5 or 10 seconds, you kind of already know if you like the person and if you want to like hook up with them. And so she's pretty much like, well, we've pretty much cut out the middle, man. We don't even have to do the date part. You can just come over and I'll sit on your face. So that's the situation thus far, is that they have a scheduled up meeting that he's already put out there to do this thing where he's going to come over and they're going to do some stuff, including her sitting on his face, which will obviously lead to other intimate acts of pleasure in that time space, okay? So far, this guy's game and ability to do this is off the charts. And to be fair, she said that he was a very nice, handsome-looking guy that looks like he could probably get some. And that's an important thing, is that if you present yourself on these apps in a way where it's like you're bold, you're confident, and you might think you're like the best looking guy, but you still put yourself in the best looking light possible, then women will be intrigued enough to bypass their programming of, I got to be safe, I got to make them wait, etc., and be like, you know what? Why not? And also sometimes women just want to hook up. And I'm going to go more into that in a later show where I talk about how to get first date hookups. But this is that situation right now, okay? So here's the problem, is that they already have the date set up. And what originally happened was she had said, well, do you want to go out this weekend? And he was like, well, I've already got plans with my friends on Friday, so my Friday's already shot because I can't do Friday. So at the point in which she agreed that she would sit on his face on next Wednesday, he comes back and says, well, I want to come over and we can do that on Friday. And she's like, I'm a busy girl. I got meetings in the morning, yada, yada, yada. I think he's a nurse, so he works during the night shift. So his plan is like, okay, I'll get off my night shifts, come over to you, and then you can sit on my face while you're working. And she's like, I got a job, dude. Like, what the heck? So now he's trying to start planning to come earlier. He's saying things like, okay, well, she said she has plans with her sister this weekend who also lives in the same city. And so he's like, well, I can come over to your sister's house and hang out for a while also. It's no big deal. Like, I can get to know you. I want to see how loud you are anyway and also the stuff. And so now she's saying, I'm kind of starting to get turned off because we had already set up a situation where a date is going to happen and where action is going to happen. It's next Wednesday. And he set it up that way because he originally said he had plans with his friends this weekend. So now he's trying to backtrack. He's trying to suddenly cut off his friends to be able to come over and hang out with her. And he's trying to impede upon her plans to be around her. So now this goes from what? It goes from being this guy that she saw as this confident guy that was good looking and sexual, and she's been without for a while, so she's eager to do whatever, to now she's feeling unease because he's suddenly starting to show off characteristic traits that are not very attractive to women. And this is what I tell you guys on this show, is that when you are attracting women are looking for a few things, one of which is consistency, meaning you do what you say what you do, you're not deviating from that. They're also trying to see if you have your own life, meaning when you make plans with other things outside of her, you're keeping those plans. And also, they are constantly looking at your actions to see if it's displaying other types of behavior that could be troublesome for a relationship in the future. So this is a guy that went from yeah, we should just, you should sit on my face and blah, 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 and being all bold and daring and confident and different from the other guys on the app, to turning into other guys on the app. Oh, well, I want to come see you. Oh, I'll give up all my time to come see you, princess. And oh, I just want to spend time with you and do whatever. And this is not an appealing thing to women, okay? Because again, these types of things are things that women find apprehensive, they find deplorable, they find they're just so off-putting. And she was already into the guy, but she also has her own life going on, and she already had plans. But when you as a guy start doing these things that are indicating neediness and desperation, then it can only be bad. So this goes to show you what can happen when you as a guy are not too confident, or you're trying to display confidence, but then you start doing other things that are a little bit not confident, is that women will start to be unattracted to you. And this is a woman, like I said, this friend of mine, she's very much she saw the dude's profile, was oh my gosh, this isn't usually the typical guy that I go for, but he's just so attractive. He looks like girls want to do him all day long. So what did this guy do right? He, on the app, he gave off the aura that, hey, I get girls all the time. Yeah, I'm on the dating app, but girls regularly want to do stuff with me. And she had that idea in her head, oh, this is the guy that I need to be getting with because he must know what he's doing because he looks like a guy that can get some. But he starts texting those texts and he starts texting those insecurities. And now it's oh, well, maybe he's not getting as many women as I thought he was. Or maybe he's really not that confident, bold guy that I thought he was. This is now a situation where I don't know if I can trust what I thought this guy was, okay? And so this also goes to show you two guys that the big mistake this guy made is once he closed the sale, he should have shut up. And this is something that they actually taught us in sales. I used to sell Cutco knives and vacuum cleaners and stuff like that. And the person that taught me how to sell this stuff, he said something very, very important to me that stuck with me as I started to do more dating and getting better at it, was that once you make the sale, that's it. You shut up, you stop talking, and you go away until you're able to deliver that product, okay? So, but what most guys do is, I guess because we're not used to having it be so easy, where we can just say to a girl, hey, I want to hook up with you, and they say, okay, that's awesome. Because our programming is already designed to have to try to explain to them in explicit detail why it's perfectly okay for them to feel comfortable with us, why they should trust us, why they shouldn't be trying to back down from wanting to do this thing that's a natural urge and that she should want to do too. So we already have that speech in our head. And then we come across a girl that's no, we knew it. That's totally cool. That's fine. You can come over. You might have the feeling of but I still need to explain, and I still need to make sure that she's comfortable and that this isn't a hoax or she's going to back down. So I got to over explain what I want to do and how much I want to do it and where I got to be. And you can go from a woman that was a willing candidate for the bedroom to one that's like, whoa, this guy's actually actively talking me out of wanting to do this now, because the more he's talking, the more I'm having to second guess and third guess myself to where it might not be a great idea. And I've been in those situations where I've literally like had girls down to do some stuff, and then I start over talking, and then all of a sudden it's like the panties aren't coming off now, or they're being pulled back up, and now she's not so sure or whatever. Versus when I've been the guy that's like, we should do some stuff, and it's like, okay. And I literally just like, shut up. Even if it's like on a drive home, I might say something like, hey, we come back to my place and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, awesome. I shut it up and I keep driving. Because if I say, the next thing I say, if I'm like, are you sure? Because, I want to make sure that you're going to be comfortable. I know this is the first date that we're having and it's going to be a thing, blah, blah. That's going to make her suddenly be like, oh, why is he talking so much? Like, I was already good. Should I be worried? Should I be second guessing this situation? Should I feel bad? Like, he seems to think that this is some way taking advantage of me. Is this taking advantage of me? You know what? For the safety of all involved, let me not do anything. And then you end up talking the girl out of the situation. So guys, if you are lucky enough to be able to get in the vicinity with a woman, whether it's a first date, third date, fifth date, where you're able to get in that space where intimacy can happen, and you start talking that talk and she says yes, if you continue to talk and you end up losing out on that hookup, you only have yourself to blame, okay? It really doesn't take a lot of conversation to hook up with a girl, especially one that is already interested in you and is already having those thoughts about you. If those two things are in play, like in my friend's case, she already found him attractive, they already had a good conversation, she already agreed to the hookup. Once the agreement is made, anything you say after that can only be your downfall. So be mindful of yourself. Be mindful that you don't have to over-explain things in order to get your point across. Hey, I keep these shows short because I'm like, once I get the point across, we're introverts. We get stuff very, very fast. So once I say the thing I got to say, you've gotten the point of the show, you can move on. And that's why these shows are typically no more than like 15 to 20 minutes, because I'm like, I don't need to over-explain stuff for you guys to get it. But in this case, I'm a little over-explaining because I want you to get it. Stop talking. Once she says yes to the get, that you're down, that she's down to do for the get down in the bedroom, stop talking and just let it happen, dude. And you will be a lot happier. And especially because it doesn't require extra work. Like, you don't have to over talk. You can just shut up and just go have fun, which she wants to do in the first place. Now that you've heard from me, I'd like to hear from you. Have you ever talked a girl out of having sex with you? If you're watching this on YouTube, please leave a comment below or write to me at HarryWilmington@gmail.com. Are you ready to learn killer icebreakers that attract women on dating apps? Go to introvertdatingsuccess.com right now to watch my free video training, How to Get Attractive, Feminine, Emotionally Stable Women Dying to Respond to Your First Messages on Dating Apps Without Using Sleazy Pickup Lines, which will give you key secrets to sparking attraction and conversation with women online the smart way. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe on this episode, and catch new episodes 7 days a week right here on YouTube or wherever podcasts can be found. In the meantime, be sure to check out some of these other episodes so you too can learn how to date as your introverted self while still getting your precious alone time. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.